Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Get my mic going here. I have a presentation that is going to be different than the one I did on Sunday, this past Sunday. So in the Grays ecosystem, we are educating and having community events 6 times a week. 6 events, public events for the community every week. And this week is being a little bit hiccupy because of the holiday. So I would have had this yesterday, but I didn't want to be that weirdo that has a public event on a major holiday, the holiday of holidays. Zen, the founder of pTGC and UFO, held a voice chat this morning. I didn't even listen in. I was working on my presentation, this one, for you guys instead. I'm going to ramble a little bit, guys. If you're jumping in here and I'm just rambling, I'm just kind of waiting till people come in. No longer than a minute or two. So we had voice chat this morning, AMA right now, and then nothing on Friday that I'm aware of. This is the only day of the week so far that we don't have anything scheduled. Spaces on Saturday. Of all the events that we have, all the 6, right? Of all of that we have, Saturday spaces are my favorite. If you guys could jump in the chat, let me know you can hear me and all that good stuff. That would give me a warm and fuzzy. I'd appreciate it. Looks like we have 5 eyeballs in here. That's good. Slow down. Everything's slow, right? The holidays, it's quiet. Crypto is kind of pulling back a little bit. I think it's typical this time of year. I don't anticipate there being a lot of people in here, but I know there's one guy that was in the Telegram this morning, brand new. Like, jump in the AMA, man. You're going to learn a bunch. So hopefully you're in here. If somebody can make a quick comment, let me know that you guys are, if you can say good morning, good afternoon, anything to let me know. It's just somebody say something. Oh, guys, I've been in my office, been freezing my butts because it's cold in here, but it's warming up. I'm all good. So let me tell you a little bit about what we got cooking over here. I was using one presentation, just kind of an outline. Now what I have is more of it's less of an outline. It's going to be more of a read. So, and I don't have it to the point where I can like share it with you guys, like share screen. So I'm going to be reading a lot. You got questions, drop them in the chat. Is anybody here? Somebody say something like hi or drop an emoji or something. I see 11 eyeballs. Maybe you guys can't. I'm just going to go on even if you can't. 12 people. Yeah, man. So the Sunday before last, we had 244 people in the AMA. I can't believe it. And I think that's a foretaste of things to come, but things are really hot. Dion, thank you so much for saying something, man. I appreciate that. So, yeah, what I have today is I've been working on it for a couple weeks, no more than that, but it's to a point now where I can actually use it. I am going to modify it some. So you guys are thank you, Dion. Appreciate you too. You guys are going to be my you guys ain't pigs. You're not even guinea pigs, but you know what I'm saying. You guys are the test bed. I don't want to linger any longer. 4 minutes. Yeah, let's go, man. I'm going to keep some water handy. And I'm hoping, suspecting, thinking that everything that you guys need, new people, is in here. It's a lot to just review. It's pages and pages. I'm going to stop talking and start reading. Guys, welcome to pTGC, UFO, the Grays currency on the Pulse chain. If you are new to the Pulse network, these are the tokens that Prairie Banana holds as it, because they're a leverage play. They are the index tokens of all the best tokens on the Pulse network. you can start with these tokens and then work on learning other tokens, perhaps in the ecosystem, on the Pulse network that you'd like to perhaps hold. But these tokens are bonded with all the top tickers on the Pulse network, including RH tickers, and our liquidity bonds with them are thick, like millions of dollars in some cases. And as they go up, pTGC and UFO will go up. I wanted to start with this. I want to show you guys the pTGC chart. Give me a second. Let me get rid of this. And this is pTGC against the Pulse network. You guys can do this too. Go to your DEX screen or DEX tools, pull up pTGC, and look at it in terms of, let's see if I can make this go away. Look at it in terms of not in price. It's too big, so it's squishing. Hey, thanks, man. Look at it in terms, not USD, although that's a good looking chart also. But what I'm keenly interested in trying to illustrate here is how pTGC and UFO also have been moving up against Pulse. So select Pulse. Look how this token has been moving up against Pulse for its entire lifespan. We just hit 1-to-1 with Pulse on August 26th. We are now 6.36 Pulse per pTGC. And Pulse is still below SAC rate. What's it right now? 60% of SAC price. What do you think is going to happen when Pulse makes its move? We can only imagine. And that is very exciting. So let's get you positioned in pTGC and UFO, and then we can look at other tokens if you wanted to. So imagine holding two tokens that pay you 6 streams of passive income, all while your principal grows relative to the existing supply, generating even more passive income. And guys, I want your feedback on how I'm presenting this. I mean, what works to keep an audience's attention and relay information? Let me know. Picture a system where every token reflected to you is removed from the market, creating scarcity, and where your yield isn't generated by inflation, but by tokens that were already circulating. Now imagine further, every holder selling their yield every single day, and it barely registering as a blip on the chart. Well, in the Grays ecosystem, we're fond of saying that people come here for the X's, but stay for the APY. Most tokens rely on number go up to profit, and their only way to take profit is by exiting their principal, hurting the chart. But pTGC and UFO are different. And this is a work in progress. If it sounds funky, I'm working on it. So thanks for bearing with me, and I appreciate your feedback if you got any. pTGC and UFO are different. You don't need to sell your principal to take profit. Instead, you can simply exit through your yield, preserving the value of your principal while benefiting from the system's sustainable design. Now, I've got an interesting illustration that I will do at the end of this to illustrate this very point, that you don't need to exit through your principal. You could literally buy it, stake it out for 1 year, sell the yield, and even a little principal, and break even on the principal. Are you intrigued? Okay, let's dive into pTGC and UFO, two groundbreaking tokens that are redefining decentralized finance. First, we're going to talk about fee-based tokens. Let's talk about these reflection tokens, right? Nobody likes hearing the word tax or fee. In fact, for most of us, they trigger a negative reaction. But today, I want to change your perspective, because the pTGC and UFO fees are designed to empower users and strengthen the Grays ecosystem in ways that truly matter. So instead of being something to fear, the fees associated with pTGC and UFO are tools for the empowerment and strengthening of the underlying system that is paying holders. How's everyone feeling? Good? Good so far? Thank you, Trev. Appreciate you guys' kind words. pTGC and UFO were launched as groundbreaking, renounced, immutable, and deflationary cryptocurrencies, purposefully designed to generate passive income for holders without relying on an inflating token supply. They deliver the benefits of inflation without the downsides, functioning as powerful passive income generators. Through their innovative token mechanics, pTGC and UFO consistently increase both their value and the value of the underlying liquidity pools that sustain them, all driven by hyper-deflationary structures. Volatility is a constant in crypto, and with pTGC and UFO, it becomes an advantage rather than a challenge. These tokens turn the natural ebb and flow of the Pulse chain network into a sustainable, rewarding system. By tokenizing both volume and volatility, the Gray's currencies capitalize on every transaction. Whether paired directly or indirectly, imbalances in paired tokens spark a cascading ripple effect, activating arbitrage bots, resetting prices, driving value creation, rewarding users, and fortifying the entire ecosystem, making volatility work for you. In fact, an estimated 80% of transaction volume comes from AMM bots. These bots operate 24/7, 365 days a year, performing critical tasks like arbitraging, building liquidity pools, burning tokens, and rewarding users. This constant activity ensures pTGC and UFO remain dynamic and self-sustaining. The secret to their success lies in their meticulously crafted liquidity webs, built strategically while WPLS was still below its sacrifice rate. By acquiring assets like Pulse, PulseX, pDAI, and Inc. at bargain prices, which we have done and are still doing, the Gray's currencies function as index funds of the top performing assets on the Pulse chain network, with a special focus on RH tickers, because we have a strong hunch that those tickers are going to perform very well. Warren Buffett wisely said, "In my view, for most people, the best thing to do is to own the S&P 500 index fund." pTGC and UFO bring that same principle to life within the Pulse chain ecosystem, offering diversified exposure and stability in a dynamic crypto environment. And as the network evolves, these tokens will continue to integrate with more key assets, solidifying their roles as cornerstones of Pulse chain and a gateway to sustainable passive income. One moment. I don't want to get it too warm in here. That's why pTGC and UFO are often referred to as the easy button of Pulse chain, because they offer new users a simple and effective way to start earning quickly while they explore the broader opportunities within the Pulse chain ecosystem. And I'm going to show you guys, we talked about the liquidity web. Now I'm going to show you pTGC's liquidity web. Give me one moment. This is going to be a little bit of a longer presentation today, I think, just because we're already 15 minutes into it. I like it to keep it short, but it's not always possible. So here is secretobank.com, and anybody can go here and do this. Select your address, whether pTGC or UFO, check the volume, and then you can see all of the liquidity pools. So, and you can sort by liquidity. The biggest pool, and this is pTGC, is a $3.5 million pTGC UFO pool. The next one is pTGC and a token called Liquid, almost $2 million. And then the WPLS pool is almost $2 million. $800,000 pool with pDAI, and $700,000 pool with Hex. $600,000 pool with Atropa. Pretty juicy, right? And you can do the same thing with UFO. Let's go ahead and do that. Here is UFO. Sort by the largest $5 million pool with pDAI. That's juicy, guys. Will you share the link for that site? Yes. It's secretobank.com. Let me know, vets, if you don't mind. Can you guys pick up links in the chat? Dion says the taxes actually give advantage to patient holders who receive reflections. Oh yeah, man. And we're going to talk about that. So let me know if you guys can pick up that link. So that's why pTGC and UFO are often called the easy button, because they offer new users a simple and effective way to start earning quickly while they explore the broader opportunities within the Pulse Chain ecosystem. I already read that, didn't I? Well, I want to take a few minutes to describe to you why it's important that we bonded with these key assets on the chain. We're all familiar with Hart's law, which states that tokens bonded in liquidity will move up together. I want you to picture pTGC and UFO as boats floating on an incoming tsunami wave. So you've got this tsunami coming in, and then what we have is we have rivers going into the tsunami. Let me stop sharing my screen here. So into this tsunami wave are flowing rivers, and they're labeled Pulse, PulseX, Hex, pDI, and Ink. And as these rivers, Pulse, PulseX, Hex, pDI, and Ink, rise, they're going into the tsunami, and as they rise, the boats on top of the tsunami, which are pTGC and UFO, begin to rise. You see how that works? All right, I want to cover just a few distinctions between these two assets. pTGC operates with a 5% fee on all buys, sells, and transfers of tokens. Importantly, none of the fees go to developer wallets. Instead, the fees are collected in Pulse and allocated to specific functions that support the Grace currency ecosystem. This system ensures that short-term holders and traders contribute to the protocol's long-term stability and value, while rewarding committed long-term holders with each transaction. And here's how the fees are allocated. And I want to show this to you guys so we can do a little show and tell. Let's get the screen popped up. And Vet says it's only one way here on XChat. Yeah, that's a bummer. You know what? It's secretobank.com. Just go to that URL and you pull it up pretty easily. Let me know if you have any other questions, though. All right, here's the fees. PulseTGC.com. This is the D app, PulseTGC.com. So 2% goes to the DAO Treasury wallet to increase the value of pTGC. 2% goes to the DAO. We're going to talk about the DAO. 1% is distributed to stakers. And by the way, we've estimated that stakers earn about 136% more than holders. 1% is distributed to both holders and stakers. 0.5% is used to buy and burn pTGC, reducing that supply. And 0.5% is added to the pTGC PLS liquidity pool on PulseX V1 and locked forever. Thereby, that's why we have such a large LP with Pulse. So I want to show you guys holding and staking APY for January. Give me a second. Holding and staking APY for... no, I'm not going to show that to you guys yet. So bear with me. That is for another presentation. All right, I'm going to remove that. So in reference to the taxes, the 5% tax, we're not supposed to use the word tax. It sounds awful. Fee. In reference to the 5% fee with pTGC, so imagine a $1,000 transaction. Well, $100 of that will stay within the ecosystem because you have a $50 buy. Well, if it's a bot transaction, you have a $50 buy transaction fee, and then a $50 sell fee. So for every $1,000 of bot volume, you get $100 of that stays within the ecosystem, strengthening the core asset and rewarding users. And this structure makes pTGC not only sustainable, but also rewarding for long-term holders, as Dion just stated in the chat. The taxes actually give advantage to patient holders who receive reflections. Okay, guys, there are 3 ways that you can earn with pTGC, and this really hit home with me like last week. Like, we actually have 3 streams of income with pTGC. One, you get automatically as soon as you hold the token, and that's reflections. We're going to start with that one. So when you hold pTGC liquid, Your tokens automatically earn what are called reflections, proportional to your share of the supply. As soon as you hold pTGC, you will see these reflections stacking up in your wallet immediately, kind of like magic. It's pretty amazing. I was impressed the first time when I bought pTGC. I said, man, I'm earning more like immediately. Is really cool. And as long as Pulse Chain is alive, they'll never stop. They literally will never stop as long as we have any sort of activity on the Pulse network with the pairs that we're bonded with. You will always receive reflections. The second way to earn with pTGC is by staking your tokens. This is a feature I absolutely love and I consider a no-brainer. Why? Because there are no time constraints. You still earn reflections and it lets you scratch the proverbial, I got to interact with the contract today itch, because there's always yield that can be compounded back into your principal. Just don't get crazy recycling more than maybe once a week or so, excluding large yield days, because it can basically be a waste of your time. We recommend like once or twice a week, or if you get a large wave. You can start a stake and end that stake at any time, whether it's immediately after staking the tokens or after leaving them for years. Just be aware that there's a modest 1% fee on the principal when you end a stake, which is distributed to other stakers as a reward for their long-term commitment. I'll fix something here. Unlike reflections, which go directly to your wallet, just know this: staking rewards are held by the smart contract until you claim them. It's worth noting that your staked principal remains in your custody, visible in your wallet, but is not transferable until you end your stake. So we have a lot of people asking why they can't sell or transfer their tokens. They see them in the wallet, but they don't understand or realize that they're staked. And they just need to be end staked, and then they can do what they want with those tokens. It's interesting that staking comes with a built-in layer of theft protection too, because since the principal remains visible in your wallet but can't be transferred, it's somewhat safeguarded against unauthorized access by anyone unaware that the tokens are simply staked. It's important to note that staking rewards are calculated based on dollar value, not token quantity. This means if pTGC's price increases by 100x, the number of reward tokens you receive will decrease, but the total dollar value of the rewards you've already earned will also increase by 100x. That's a huge, Vet says, that's a huge PSA reminder. Unstake in order to move. What do you mean PSA? Yeah, you got to unstake in order to move. And there is a 1% fee that you got to pay to unstake. So say you earned 1,000 pTGC tokens on a given day 6 months ago. On the day you earned them, the volume was such that the APY at the time was 10%. So you earn these tokens on a day and the APY is 10%. But in that time, pTGC say does 100x. This means those 1,000 tokens that you earned at 10% APY is now effectively 1,000% APY. And if you recycle them, they earned even more APY. It's pretty stunning. Finally, staking unlocks access for you to the pTGC DAO, which we'll talk about further in a little bit. As a staker, you can propose and vote on treasury allocations to advance pTGC's goal of becoming the most valuable and liquid income-generating asset on the Pulse network. This community-driven governance enhances the staking experience, making pTGC even more rewarding. All right, let's show the locking tiers, because this is, where am I going to find these? I don't have an image of them. Well, many of you guys are familiar with the, I think I have it on the white paper here. Just bear with me, guys. I'm learning how to do all this kind of on the fly, if you will. So, and all of this is free, right? You're getting what you paid for. Here's the time lock tier system right here, highlighted in yellow. The third way to earn, and this is the third way to earn pTGC. We don't get locking rewards every day. They're kind of sporadic, but we do earn them. Public service announcement, of course. Unstake your tokens before you try to move them. That's the PSA that needs to be said every day. The third way to earn with pTGC is by locking your tokens. And by the way, locked tokens not only continue to earn reflection rewards, but also staking rewards. It's important to note that you can't lock pTGC directly. You must stake your tokens first, then use the lock mechanism to secure them for periods ranging from 90 days to 10 years. Locking pTGC is a serious commitment because unlocking early comes with a 30% penalty on your locked principal, making it essential to proceed thoughtfully. Personally, I wouldn't lock tokens without first sleeping on the decision, discussing it with other investors like in Telegram, or even consulting my spouse. Locking should never be rushed. It's a strategy for those ready to commit for the long haul. Although locking in general is a serious commitment, the 90-day lock, so long as that you intend to hold pTGC for that long, in my opinion, are a no-brainer. Locking comes with a unique advantage. When other lockers unlock early and incur the 30% penalty, their forfeited tokens are distributed among those who remain locked. These penalty rewards, just like staking rewards, are held in the smart contract until claimed. So you'll see them in your wallet. They will they'll just, people unlock randomly, and your rewards will show up in your wallet, and they're not in your wallet. They're just represented there, and they're held by the smart contract until you claim them. And you can do that at any time. And here's the locking tier system. So a 90-day lock earns 55% of the reward. What happens to the other 45%? It gets sent to the dead address. It's burned. And then a 1-year lock earns 60% of the reward, so on, up to, if you do a 10-year lock, it earns 10% of the reward. While locking may currently offer lower returns compared to the other pTGC holding strategies at current price levels, it has the potential to become significantly more rewarding under the right conditions, and here's why. Reflections and staking rewards are tied to the token's price when they are earned, meaning higher prices yield the same dollar value in fewer tokens. Locking rewards, however, are based on your share of penalty tokens from early unlocks, regardless of their price. So if pTGC were to 100x in value, reflections and staking rewards would adjust to match the token's higher value. However, penalty rewards from locking would scale directly with the price increase, amplifying your potential gains. This positions locking as a powerful long-term strategy with significant upside potential. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I have just recently become a huge fan of locking tokens. I'm a fan because I think in time we will be earning more value from the penalties. And I hesitate to say some things. I want other people to lock. I'll just say it out loud. If other people lock, it benefits everybody. It benefits the ecosystem. It shows that we are hodlers over here in the pTGC ecosystem because we lock our tokens. Locking also adds a third distinct revenue stream to pTGC, complementing reflections and staking. It's a strategy for those who believe in the long-term potential of the ecosystem and are willing to commit for greater rewards. While it may require more patience and deliberation, locking can unlock immense value in the right market conditions. And that's not financial advice. We haven't seen it yet. That's speculation. But a lot of the speculation that we've made in this ecosystem, we have seen unfold and actually do impress us even more so than what we thought. When deciding to lock your pTGC, here are some key factors to keep in mind. Yeah, staking saves you from yourself. Is that Google document? Is this the one that I was sharing on screen, Kong? This one, that's the white paper. That's just from the white paper. The one I'm reading from is not public, and I don't know that it will be. If you could just let me know which one you're referring to. So when deciding to lock your pTGCs, here are some key factors I want you to keep in mind. If you found yourself in substantial profit, the 30% emergency end lock EEL penalty could still be worthwhile depending on your situation. These are just some things to keep in mind when you're thinking about locking. Locking keeps your dirty little hands off your tokens, preventing emotional decisions during market volatility. And we anticipate some users will unlock early during up cycles. And yours truly might even do that. I don't know. I'm not there yet. Locking strengthens the ecosystem. 10-year lockers contribute long-term stability, while all other tiers include burn mechanics that reduce supply. So the 10-year locks, they're locking up, for 10 years. But the other tiers, all of the other tiers have a burn mechanism built in. So that, in my terms, it's almost like a benevolent lock. So the longer you lock, the more you're adding to the longevity of the system. And the shorter you lock, the more you're contributing to the price floor because of burning those tokens. And here are some notes on locking strategies. And instead of locking one large bag, okay, sounds good, calm. Instead of locking one large bag and risking, if I can put it that way, you emergency end locking that one large bag and paying a 30% penalty, divide it into 10 small bags or whatever size portion you want, so that if you do need to emergency end lock, you're only paying, you're going to pay less than 30%. You can create a locking ladder whereby you lock 90% for 10 years and allocate 10% in annual locks to create a ladder from 1 to 9 years, or whatever you want to do. That's not even a suggestion. It's just an example. Take advantage of the next tier benefits. Now, listen, I did not know this when I did some 10-year locks. I wish I had, because it would have got me a 364-day gain. If you lock one day into the next higher tier, you will earn rewards from that higher tier. For example, locking 366 days qualifies as a 2-year lock, garnering you 65% of earnings instead of 60%. Or locking for 3,286 days instead of 3,285 puts you in a 10-year lock tier. So what I did is I locked for 3,650. Well, there's no penalty for leaving a lock beyond the set term, and you continue to earn locking reflection. I got to reword this. And you continue to earn reflections, staking, and locking rewards. There are countless ways to structure your locks. Tailor your strategy to align with your specific goals and risk tolerances. By thoughtful planning, you can maximize rewards while effectively managing risks. Although, always take time to evaluate your objectives and consider the current market conditions before committing to a locking plan. Give me a second, guys. Where did I have that? Hold up. Here's a chart I put together that highlights oh yeah, man, I wanted to show this to you guys. Where is it now? There we go. Yeah, some of this I can just show. Yeah, we could do this. You guys are going to see my nose, but it's all right. I'm not here to be not humbled. All right, here, check this out, guys. I made this week. So here's a 10-year lock and with a 9. What we have here on the left is 10-year locks. In the middle, a 9-year ladder, and then the associated rewards in this column here. So like the one I just mentioned, you lock 90% of your bag for 10 years and 10% you make a ladder with. Well, your total rewards, because I asked ChatGPT, okay, I didn't calculate it myself. Your total rewards would be 97.75%. Is that not pretty juicy? Let's say you locked 50% of your bag for 10 years and made a staking ladder with the other 50%. Your total rewards would be 88.75%. I was impressed when I saw this. And if you didn't lock anything for 10 years, but just made a 9-year ladder, your total reward would be 77.5%. I'm still impressed. You know what I'm saying? I think that made such an impact on me. I'm like, yeah, man. I'm thinking about like, no, I'm going to do the 90-10. I really want to maximize everything. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm bullish on that one. All right. Now we're going to go into UFO a little bit. Its fees and ways you can earn passive revenue streams with it. UFO doesn't have a 5% fee. It has a 6% fee on all buys, sells, and transfers. 3% is paid to LP providers in Pulse. 1% is paid to holders in UFO. 1% is used to buy and burn UFO. 1% is used to buy and burn pTGC. And by the way, UFO burns about 3 times more pTGC. It really depends on the day. We've seen it burn almost 10 times more pTGC than pTGC itself. Yeah, it all depends on the volume. These are volume and volatility based tokens. So for every $1,000 of UFO volume, $120 stays within the ecosystem, strengthening the core asset and rewarding users. This structure makes UFO not only sustainable, but also rewarding for long-term holders. Let's see. Now, UFO doesn't have the staking capability that pTGC has, but it does offer investors its own 3 ways of earning passive income. You can hold it to earn reflections. You can LP it with Pulse, PulseX, Inc., Hex, eHex, or PDI to UFO and earn 3% LP rewards. And in the background, because we're built on PulseX V2, you're earning your LP'ing rewards just like your standard LP rewards. I think it's 0.3%, something like that. So 3 streams of passive income for pTGC, 3 streams of passive income for UFO potential. Now, if you were to hold 2 of these tokens, just hold them, then you're getting 2 streams of income. And I'm going to show you guys the DApp. Let's go look at the DApp. Let's go to, I think I need to insert pTGC in here because I should be showing you guys the, oh, you know what? Let's go back. I'll make a mental note to insert looking at the DApp in my notes here, but let's look at the DApp for pTGC, the pTGC side of the DApp. So here it is. It looks like I need to connect a wallet. Give me a second, guys. Let me see here. I'm going to use my test wallet. When you connect your wallet to the DApp, this is what you're going to see. I mean, hopefully you see tokens, but if you don't, then when you buy them, you will see tokens in here. And this is where you will go to interact with the contract. And this is the only DApp that I'm aware of at the moment. But let's say you have pTGC sitting in your wallet and you're earning reflections, and that makes you happy. But now you're like, man, I really want to get these 136% more yield by staking some tokens. So you would click on stake pTGC, select however much you want to stake, and see these are my reflections right here. And I can stake half of them or 100%. So if you want to see your reflections, you'll see them stacking up in your wallet, or you just click on here and you'll see them. Okay, so that's how you would stake. And let's see. And if you wanted to lock, those tokens would need to be staked first, and then you would click on the lock button. And again, I recommend proceeding very deliberately with this. You could stake however many tokens you want. And then I use a site called timeanddate.com to kind of get things You can lock anywhere from, you can't lock for 8,000 days. You just can't. It's going to, the most you can lock for is 3,650. Just reference the locking tiers. Perhaps use timeanddate.com and set up your lock, and it'll show up down here. And whenever people early unlock, you will see a reward pile up here. And if you want to claim, make sure you do not click this. It'll give you a warning. Sure you want to unlock? No, I'm not ready yet. This one is, it actually is not going to be mature until February 7th, 2034. So it got a few years to go. But I can claim anytime I want. You just click on the claim button, transact it in your wallet, and you'll be on your merry way. So are there any questions about the pTGC part of the DApp? Well, you've got the like the universal part up here, everybody. You can see what everybody has earned, and then this is your section right here for this particular wallet. It shows you the total TGC earned from holding, staking, and locking. Pretty insightful, eh? Now let's go to the UFO tab. Yeah, I got to show you this. I got to show this to you guys. Okay, here is the liquidity pools where you would go to add your LP. Now you need to have equal portions of both tokens. You would want, like if you had a bunch of HEX and you had a bunch of UFO and you wanted to make an LP, you would click on add liquidity and put in your UFO however much you want, and you would have to have an equal dollar amount of HEX, and then you click on add new liquidity, and you would have an LP pool, and it would be earning you your standard LP rewards in addition to the 3% transaction fee that users and bots are paying just in the UFO token. When you do LP, you're not going to be earning reflections though, just so you know that. So like what I do and what many people do is they LP a little bit, and with another bit, they will just hold it. Okay. So that is how to add LP. Then where do you go to see your rewards? I'm glad you asked. Let me get a different wallet pulled up. Let me get this one because I want to show you guys some rewards. This is a test wallet, and it has, looks like it's LP'd Inc, Pulse, PulseX, and PDI, and it has earned 161,704 PLS. And I don't know when the last time he claimed. It'd be cool if they had a date up here. But he's earned 4 million UFO from reflections and 10 million PLS for LP'ing. And there's the pending. So that's pretty cool. And there's a button down here that you can claim the whole thing at once, or you can claim them individually. I don't know why anybody would claim them individually. That does not make sense. So any questions on that, guys? If you do have questions, let me know. Some key things to note about UFO. Well, it was strategically engineered to foster unity between the Richard Hart ecosystem, as you can see in this DApp. Those are all RH tickers. And the Grays ecosystem, and operates as a catalyst intensifying bot activity and volume for both pTGC and UFO. It leverages the same cutting edge technology that pTGC uses, whereby it leverages AMM bots to capture the fees and keep those fees within the system. You only want to LP from the DApp. Don't LP from PulseX, otherwise you're going to forfeit the 3% reward going to LP providers. UFO tokens that are in LP positions don't earn reflections. So what many users do is LP some and hold some liquid. I just said that twice. LP any token listed on the DApp with UFO. They all get the same reward. That's worth noting. So which one is going to get the best reward? All of them get the best reward. The key Okay, now I don't recommend that you LP UFO and pTGC. This is the one pair that is not whitelisted, and you will pay a 5% fee on pTGC and 6% fee in UFO. 6% going into an LP position is what you're going to pay. 11% total, and then 11% coming out. So I did not LP any of my pTGC. No way, man, because this stuff's precious to me. Same with UFO. No, I found some other token to LP is what I did. The key difference between LPing or holding UFO lies in what you earn. When you LP UFO, you earn PLS, which has a history of being outperformed by UFO. On the other hand, simply holding UFO earns you more UFO, which is a token that has been performing exceptionally well against Pulse. So I like both. I like the LP because I want the Pulse rewards, and the APY is actually better, but I also like the UFO. And the thing about it is that when I earn Pulse, let me remove this for a second. When I earn Pulse, it's not moving up as fast as UFO is, and so I'm compelled to okay, I got to put this Pulse back to work for me. So then what do I got to do? I got to go to PulseX and swap it for UFO or pTGC. So there's an extra step there versus just earning it in UFO, and UFO tends to move up. At least it has. If you look at the chart history, we looked at pTGC's history versus Pulse. UFO is basically the same. They're performing very well. Well, guys, let's talk about the DAO. pTGC is the first DAO on the Pulse network. In the pTGC DAO, your voting power is determined by the number of tokens that you have staked. So if you're a staker, you can participate in the DAO, making every staker an integral part of the ecosystem. The DAO allows the Graze ecosystem to adapt to market changes and is one of the key features that sets pTGC apart from other reflection assets. Here's how it works. All stakers can vote, but only the top 100 stakers can submit proposals. So you have to be a pretty big player and be pretty well committed to the system in order to submit proposals. Proposals require a 65% majority to pass and they remain open for 7 days. If a proposal fails, it's rejected. Successful proposals trigger the allocation of Pulse to the proposer for implementation. Each proposal includes a comment section, which fosters collaboration and discussion. Currently, the DAO primarily concentrates on thickening RH pools while those tokens are inexpensive, or purchasing and burning pTGC. The DAO empowers the community to effectively steer the ecosystem. And this is one of the things I love about the DAO is we're not just a token that's on a rail. We're a token that can be steered. So we keep pTGC agile and responsive to market conditions. It's more than governance. It's a dynamic tool for sustainable growth. The DAO is more than governance. It's a dynamic tool for sustaining growth. I already showed you guys the D app. I'm gonna rest my weary legs here. UFO shares. Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. I gotta show you guys the DApp again. Because do you see this right here? UFO shares. We're gonna talk about that real quick. UFO shares represent the amount of UFO you contribute to an LP. Simply put, one UFO equals one share. As the value of Shaka Vibes might have some comments here, and I welcome your comments. This is all under construction here. What you guys are hearing, but probably 99% of it is true. Only 1% of my presentation is false. No, I'm kidding, guys. I mean, it is what it is. It's under construction. I'm like building an airplane. How do they say it? I'm skydiving and putting something together at the same time. As the value of RH tickers and UFO increases, UFO shares are becoming increasingly expensive to acquire. When you create an LP pair using the D app, the number of UFO tokens you add at the time determines your UFO shares, as you can see right there. The cost of your shares equals the value of the UFO you add plus the other side of the pair. So you guys get that? UFO is cheap right now. RH tickers are cheap right now. And you can get these UFO shares for cheap right now. When both of these tokens 10x, those same UFO shares are going to be 10 times more expensive. Now, here's the key. Even if you experience a permanent loss due to UFO's price increasing and you lose UFO tokens, your UFO shares remain constant, so they don't fluctuate. They stay locked at the amount you entered with. Early LP providers benefit from a favorable UFO share rate, yet a lower amount of UFO, which incentivizes them to keep their pool open. Yeah, I can echo that. Lower amount of UFO. It's pretty sad. But I got my share rate. As closing it would mean losing access to their advantageous share rate, which may never be attainable again. Yeah, probably not ever attainable again. The more UFO shares you hold, the greater your share of the pulse rewards distributed to LP providers, making early participation in LP creation highly rewarding. Yeah, highly rewarding, I would say. Guys, we're nearly done. We are 51 minutes into this thing. All right. What sets pTGC and UFO apart from other fee-based tokens? Well, pTGC has a DAO, and it offers staking and locking, and I'm looking for other key things that set these tokens apart. The combination of DAO governance, staking, and locking is what truly separates pTGC from other reflection tokens. Through the DAO, the community has strategically scooped up assets like Pulse, PulseX, Hex, Inc., Teddy Bear, and others, seizing opportunities at the bottom of Pulse chain that may never be replicable again, making it a key advantage for pTGC's ecosystem. As prices of these assets have risen, they've contributed to the creation of massive liquidity webs, now valued at an impressive $30 million. For example, the Pulse pool alone is worth $3 million today. If Pulse were to 100x, the value of that pool would soar to $3 billion. In such a scenario, arbitrage bots would need to move 100 times more value and bringing that reward to holders, bringing that value to holders. UFO, in turn, offers the ability to earn APY on our precious RH tickers, which is another key advantage that distinguishes the tokens in the Grays ecosystem from other reflection tokens. These liquidity webs, combined with strategic governance and innovative tokenomics, underscores why pTGC and UFO are game changers in the reflection token space. So, you bought pTGC. You staked it, and you even locked some. And you even hold some UFO, and you're LPing half your bag. Congratulations. You're now earning 6 streams of income every single day. pTGC reflections, pTGC staking rewards, pTGC locking penalties, UFO reflections, 3% UFO LP rewards, and the 0.3% UFO LP rewards that Uniswap is paying you for LPing. That's fantastic. But you might be wondering, what can I do with the passive revenue? I'm glad you asked. You essentially have 3 options. If you need instant liquidity, you can sell your earnings anytime. And you're not being a schmuck for doing that because you're not going to significantly impact the chart. And it's what we're all, profit is what we're all here for. You could simply let your earnings accumulate and grow your holdings over time and then buy something nice for you and your wife. Or you can recycle rewards back into your principal to compound your gains so you can earn even more rewards. It's totally up to you and your individual investing priorities and desires. Guys, I'm going to rattle off this list of exciting things that I like about the pTGC and UFO ecosystem. It's only one page. Bear with me. And if you listen, there's some good stuff in here. And I call this, here is what pTGC and UFO are to me. They're 100% deflationary, 100% autonomous. So autonomous, we technically don't even need users for price appreciation. They're truly decentralized. 11.7% of pTGC has already been burned, and 6.7% of UFO has already been burned. When Pulse did a 4x, pTGC did a 42x. By the way, that was almost a year ago. Almost a year ago. We're still under SAC price, and we've been buying and burning tokens and building LPs for a whole year. It's only getting better. There are only 10,000 pTGC wallets and 6,000 UFO wallets. There are no founder allocations. These tokens are the golden geese of crypto. They're the needle in the haystack. They're effectively the checkmate of the Pulse network. They're the proverbial easy button of the Pulse network. They offer a combined 6 streams of income. pTGC has over $17 million in burned LP. They have been operating flawlessly. The founder is engaged with the community, benevolent, and semi-doxed. Every reward is backed by value in LP. They're like owning a 100-unit apartment complex that you can carry in your back pocket. They thrive in a volatile environment. They're like cash-flowing Miami beachfront property. The tokens are true burned, sent to the dead address, not minted and then sent. They were fully audited, and the code is immutable and fully renounced. They've been outperforming the tickers they're bonded with. They've been consistently moving up against Pulse. The supply is continuously reduced with every transaction, whether initiated by a bot, buyer, or a seller. They are paired with the most promising tokens on the Pulse network. They're like owning Main Street property in Austin, Texas before Austin became popular. They offer investors up to 6 streams of passive income. I know there are I gotta skip some stuff here. With pTGC and UFO, users can live off yield without ever selling their principal. Unlike other tokens that rely on price increase, like number go up, and sufficient liquidity for exits, pTGC offers a fundamentally different approach. All right, guys. Here's my pistachio. I have an illustration for you guys. Some of you have seen it. Some of you are waiting for it. I live in a small town near an interstate. Occasionally, a big rig crashes and ends up in the local wrecking yard. If the cargo on board is destined for the dump anyhow, word spreads around and people come to grab free goods. I'm not kidding, guys. Over time, we've seen frozen beef, cherries, something I probably forgot what we've managed to scoop up. And most recently, pistachios. I managed to snag 6 cases of 12 bags each of pistachios. And this bag here represents, I'm using it today to represent my pTGC and UFO. You guys like this? I know some of you guys are laughing, and I don't mind. I'm laughing at myself. Well, the townspeople eat their pistachios, and they are reducing the overall supply. I choose to hold on to mine. Remember, this is my pTGC and UFO. As other people consume their pistachios, my portion of the total supply of the pistachios becomes larger, making them more rare and even more valuable, just like my tokens. But here's where pTGC and UFO are even better. They pay me every single day. As long as I continue to hold, my position grows relative to the supply, just like my untouched bag of pistachios. As long as I don't cut into my tokens and reduce my principal, I can keep eating off the daily yield they provide. And this yield sounds like this. You know what that is? That's my pistachios being replenished. I'm earning more. Actually, I'm earning more pistachios every day because I own that bag. You hear that? I'm going to translate it. That's cha-ching, 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 minute after minute, day after day, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And sometimes we have a big old wave like last Saturday, where there was so much volatility on the network and everybody was being rewarded magnificently. I think we're almost done, guys. I think we're almost done. I know what you might be thinking. pTGC and UFO have already done. We need to address this. pTGC and UFO have already done a combined 1,000, thousands of hundreds of X's, thousands of X's. I'm not sure. A lot. So why should I buy now? I don't want to buy a green candle. Let me read to you a letter written by one of our community members. Shot to Vibes. He's probably in here. Yes, I'm using your letter, dude. It's good. He wrote, an open letter to those who think it's too late for pTGC and UFO. To everyone feeling like they've missed their chance, let me share this. It's my firm belief that pTGC and UFO are among the rare tokens where being late to the party might actually work in your favor. What sets these projects apart isn't just hype or quick gains. It's the unique mechanics behind them. At the core is a robust and growing LP web intertwined with key tokens, innovative tokenomics, and transaction fees that work to your advantage. Every transaction forces AMM bots to pay fees, which are then funneled back to the holders and the project itself. The real beauty, as the LP web grows, these mechanisms only get more efficient and powerful. And here's the kicker. While early adopters helped build this framework, their contributions have made the LP web even larger and stronger for you to join. Far from being too late, you are stepping into a more optimized and mature system than those who got in first. Unlike typical crypto projects, pTGC and UFO are built differently. They're designed with sustainability and scalability in mind, creating long-term value rather than relying on fleeting hype. So don't make the mistake of treating these like just another project in the sea of crypto. Do your research, take a closer look, and that's why you guys are here, right? And see why these tokens stand out. The opportunity isn't over, it's evolving, and there's still room for you to be a part of it. Guys, I really want to, we're at 1 hour, but there are some things that I wanted to get into, which is we're going to get into look into ptgc.com. And I think that's it. Yep, we're going to do some moon math. I'm going to make get over here and get this. You guys can see that, okay? Look into ptgc.com. Guys, this is a free site and a paid site. So bear with me a second, guys. You know what? I'm going to rearrange my screens here for a second. Just put up with me. I got to drag things. I got to get a hold of them first. Okay. So let's do this, guys. I had to rearrange things because I wasn't able to see the login. Let me get logged in. I'm going to remove this and log in. Jonathan Shank says, UFO is literally made to give whales and RH tickers to make huge returns while providing huge liquidity for all of the pulse chain. Yeah, man. Yeah, that is true. And I think that we have some whales splashing around. We've had them here for a few weeks now, and there'll probably be more coming because, everybody's got friends, right? Whether you're a squid, a dolphin, or a shark, or a whale, we have friends, and we talk. Okay, let's do some moon math. And by the way, this site, guys, so it's $22 a month for the premium version, and you can see the staking for all the locking, which is really interesting. And then you can play around with the reflections, look at some UFO LP, and there's a whole lot in the moon math. I think the moon math is a paid version, is a paid feature. And there's more coming. Kong is the builder of this, and he will never be done building this, I suspect. So, but he's given me permission to use this. And so we're going to, let me show you the dashboard real quick. So it starts with pTGC up here. And I like to see this, the metrics. You can see the price, volume, liquidity, and other stuff. We're 26x away from a penny. And then the fee allocation over the last 24 hours, $1,500 in fees allocated to $150 to burning pTGC, $150 to liquidity. And guys, we have seen a lot more than this. It's the day after Christmas. And so everything's just really slow right now. So $600 to the Dow. It almost makes me laugh. I mean, just a few days ago, it was like 10, 15 grand. And now it's 1,500. I've never seen it this low since we've had this site. $300 to holders and $300 to stakers. And the same with UFO. You can see the same kind of metrics down here. And let's look at the fee allocation. $4,000. I'm laughing, but I know where this thing is going, guys, and we'll see this here in this moon math. So now let's skip on over. This is sad to see all that. Let's do some moon math. Let's do a pTGC pulse moon math. All right, we're going to do an X factor of 2. What's the X factor? X factor is how much do we think pTGC is going to move up against pulse. And I just set it at 2 because it has a history of doing more than that. Let's make it 5. It has a history of doing more than 5, so I can confidently make it 5. And I want to say that pulse is going to 100x. Okay, X factor of 5, pulse 100x's. I'm going to click on calculate, and we'll see what pTGC could be worth or would be worth in such a scenario. Let's scroll down a bit. It'll be a 500x, and that's easy to calculate. It's just 100 times 5. So 500x would put pTGC at 19 cents, which would blow everybody's mind and should give us some idea of how potentially early we are. Because I mean, dare I say this is possible? I think it's possible. Let's look at UFO. Same scenario. Let's say UFO moves 5x against pulse, and pulse does a 100x. Calculate. Well, UFO obviously would be a 500x, which puts it at a 2.5 cents. 2.5 cent UFO. That's juicy. I like that. I accept. Let's go look at the reflections. And for this one, I don't need to. I'm going to use the demo wallet address. We're going into experimental mode, guys. Fasten your seatbelts. pTGC. Calculate some yields. Ovidian says, Banana Man, I remember you said if you had to start accumulation right now, you would start with UFO first, then pTGC. My friend is starting again, and I told him I agree with this potential strategy. I would do a ratio. UFO is burning a lot more pTGC than pTGC itself, but you can get a larger portion. I asked in the chat earlier this week, which one do we think is going to move harder? Maybe it was last week. And it was like, we don't know, man. Both of these things they're animals. So I want exposure to both of them. But this is the thing. I can get a larger portion of the UFO supply for cheaper right now. So I would do a ratio, and that's what I have done. I went in harder to UFO. That's just what I've done. So you could do like a 70-80% UFO, something like that. I'm just making those numbers up. Or you can do 50-50. pTGC, reflection analytics. We hit calculate. Now we're going to see APY. Did we not hit calculate? Click. Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, because it's based on volume. We're going to go with, right now the volume is very bad. It's very bad. We're going to put it at $25 million in volume on pTGC. I think that's in my opinion, that's very likely. I think it's likely, guys, honestly, that we go over 50. I'm hoping Kong has some work ahead of him. If you're watching Kong, I hope you have some work ahead of you and that you got to adjust this so it goes past $50 million in volume per day. But we're going to set it to 25 million and see what pTGC would earn. And this guy he has a shark position, 1.22 billion pTGC, which is currently worth $446,000. 446. Oh yeah. Yeah. Good job, dude. That's a really good. I suppose he didn't pay $446,000 for that. I'm just guessing. His APY would be 93%. Annual yield, $417,000. But bear in mind, this calculator doesn't factor in staking rewards. I wish it did. So if you and we're seeing staking rewards are 136% that of holding rewards. So APY would be, let's call that 200%. Annual yield, probably maybe $900,000 for this shark position. Many of us, that's out of reach for many of us, the shark position. So let's go down to and look at a dolphin and a squid position. And these are just going to be a factor of 10 less, right? So you can do it in your head, but let's look at a dolphin position right now is $11,000. I'm rounding up. And the annual yield on that would be 10,000. Guys, $11,000 position at $25 million in volume, earning $10,000 in reflections only, not including staking. So let's double that. $20,000 in a year for staking and holding in rewards. Squid position right now is $1,000. Annual return in reflections only, $1,000. Reflections and staking would be over $2,000. Let's look at UFO, and we are almost done, guys. And that's great because we're an hour and 10 minutes. 81 eyeballs in here. Let's look at UFO. UFO gets me real excited. I'll be the first to admit. $25 million in volume per day would garner 193% APY. Wow. 193%. That means you're making twice your money back on your principal. And this guy is a shark. He holds $56,000 worth of UFO, a billion tokens. APY, 190%. Annual yield, $106,000. So let's go down to some of these positions here. Yeah, a shark is $45,000. Dolphin would be $4,500. I remember when a dolphin was, I want to say it was like $300. That was some time ago, but man, looking back, I'm like, man, why didn't I get more? You know, I think I did everything I could, but okay, dolphin position is $4,500, and it would garner $8,500 in yield at $25 million in volume. A squid, $450. Okay, so we're crying about what the dolphin position used to cost. Well, guess what? We're going to be crying about the squids next. It's written in the cards, man. I mean, I showed you guys the chart, how pulses, how these tokens, pTGC and UFO, look it up for yourselves, have been moving up against the Pulse network. What happens when that network takes off? Oh, wow, man. So the squid, $450, annual yield, $850. Wow, guys. That boggles the mind. Okay, so we went through the moon math, fee allocation, and reflections. And I think that's about it. Okay, I'm going to end this with this. I'm going to end this with this. All right, said. And we've been going for an hour and a quarter. 85 people in here. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, there's your warning. Okay, here's the one pop-up. It's Shaka saying, Banana warned you. Won't be long until a squid costs what a shark does today. Ooh, you went to shark. Yeah, well, That's true. That'd be 1,000x. That's a mistake. That's about I think that's 100x. I don't know. I'm on stream. I'm going to end with this. RH said there are 2 ways to pump a token to the moon: create deflation and create demand. pTGC is deflationary. UFO is deflationary. And the bots create demand. There you have it, guys. Yeah, you got it, Chuck. It's all good. All right, guys, I think that's it. So we got nothing happening tomorrow, Friday. We have spaces on Saturday. You'll see that on the Founders X and on my X. Also, we'll post it in the Telegram. We just drop it in there, like right beforehand. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys have a great. Isn't it kind of cool? The holidays, between Xmas and New Year's, everything just kind of slows down, and I love it. So jump in on spaces if you can, and you can have a word with the founder and the rest of the community. Thanks for showing up, guys. Have a great day. Bye.